সাধনা মিটিল আশা না পুরিল সকলি ফুরায়ে যায় মা।
Bangladesh is one of the most densely populated and underdeveloped countries in Southeast Asia. The tiny country is infamous for its poor water quality and high rates of waterborne diseases such as diarrhea. Roughly 1 in 3 Bangladeshis lives below the poverty line, and few have reliable access to clean drinking water.
It really is poverty and poor access to clean drinking water is the number one cause of diarrheal disease in much of the world, actually.
Zinc is an important micronutrient which aids in functions critical to fetal and childhood development, such as protein and DNA synthesis, cell growth and bodily growth, and building immunity. Without adequate reserves, malnourished children in developing countries such as Bangladesh face physical underdevelopment and possibly death. In 2008, the country was marked as high on a world map of prevalence of zinc deficiency in children under 5.
Again, the question is manufacture, cultural acceptability, feasibility, and sustainability. The form of zinc is a very bitter tasting metal, and the way that zinc is composed in the supplement is very crucial to see how acceptable it is. And many of my studies have used a dispersible form of zinc, so its bitter taste is masked by a very sweet taste. The obvious problem is that if you take the micronutrient supplementation approach to its logical conclusions, you're basically saying, well, instead of food, here, have a pill, and that has definite disadvantages when, in fact, a healthy diet is probably the best approach to secure long-term health. But the advantages of micronutrient supplementation are many, and perhaps the largest one is that some of the studies that are done really show that the amount of nutrients that you need to promote optimal health can't actually be met by the diet, especially if it's a locally available diet that might be limiting in some nutrients depending on food agriculture or other policies.
We take a three-pronged approach to the issue at hand. Firstly, and most fundamentally, we plan to subsidize the purchase of zinc by the local producers of yogurt who supply the daycare centers we're targeting. With the $10 million philanthropic donation, we'll subsidize all costs, both fixed and variable, associated with the fortification of yogurt with zinc. The second aspect of our intervention will entail hiring clinical dietitians and nutritionists for once-a-week health info sessions for the mothers of the daycare children. This nutrition curriculum will help to better educate these families about best health care practices and hopefully aid in alleviating these families of the diseases caused by malnutrition.
Health education, yes, is often promoted as almost the holy grail, that we need to change people's behaviors, and that's the key to improve nutrition.
The final prong of our approach encompasses the establishment of a microinsurance scheme. Under this scheme, the families of these children, who don't typically have access to the normal health insurance infrastructure due to a variety of factors, can enjoy the benefits of health insurance, such as risk reduction, income smoothing, and an overall sense of decreased uncertainty. The microinsurance plan of action will be community-based and more localized to assure the best adaptation of health benefits for these families. Hopefully, in the end, our proposed intervention will increase zinc consumption as well as overall nutrition in our target population of Bangladeshi daycare children. And as a result, will decrease the incidence of diarrhea and other diseases stemming from undernutrition.
Assalamualaikum. Papa.
Well, there's a fair amount of empirical research, yes, relating to some of it from Bangladesh, that does seem to support the idea that zinc supplementation with treatment of diarrheal disease enhances both, and that has now become accepted protocol for the World Health Organization.
Zinc is an essential mineral found most concentrated in meat products, which aids in the improvement of T cell structure and phagocytic activity, in short, allowing for the healthy function of the immune system. Diarrhea is one of the most prevalent diseases among malnourished children with low zinc consumption. If untreated, it can be fatal. Much research has been conducted to demonstrate the efficacy of zinc and yogurt supplementation, health education, and microinsurance to increase health outcomes. While most studies suggest that zinc supplementation is the underlying cause of improvement in childhood diarrhea, there is resounding consensus surrounding the effectiveness of yogurt supplementation in decreasing incidence of the disease.
Yeah, that's a good question. I mentioned that in my lecture that maybe it needs a celebrity backer or someone prominent to get diarrheal disease.
One of those things that perhaps a little bit like child wasting, that is almost background noise. There have been so many other big ticket items that people have focused on that diarrhea, like wasting, has almost been seen as almost a byproduct of other things as opposed to a thing to itself. I think attention since 2000 in the Millennium Development Goals to water and sanitation has helped a great deal, as well as renewed interest in diarrheal disease with zinc and so on. But, for example, I was in Nepal in January and saw that there's been a huge improvement in the availability of clean water across Nepal over the last decade. But almost nothing has been done on sanitation, to improve sanitation. So you have mothers washing their hands and having clean water to give to their kids, and then the kids are dropping down on the dirt and playing with the feces that are just outside the back door. So that just describes that it's a complex problem that relates to multiple behaviors, and different sectors of intervention are needed to resolve it. So it needs more attention, and we shouldn't just focus on improving the treatment. We should definitely be focused on how to prevent it.
Zinc has now reached the WHO list of important medications that all countries should have on their first drugs of availability listing. So that's a big step in making sure that local manufacture can occur and that zinc be widely available. However, that use of zinc is primarily designed for the treatment of acute diarrhea, and I don't know whether communities have adopted the idea of zinc supplementation to prevent diarrhea on a sustainable basis.
माके मोने पड़े आमार माके मोने पड़े मधुर आमार मायेर हासि चाँदेर मुखे झरे माके मोने पड़े आमार माके मोने पड़े।